Alex Kidd, Retrospective, ranked. This is my subjective opinion on the games. I'm gonna rank them as I feel they compare to each other. This is very subjective, and you guys can follow along. Alright? Alright. So let's start with number 8. The worst of them all by far. Lost Stars Arcade. Why? None of that makes sense. It's horrible. It's jacked. I couldn't find a playthrough online that didn't credit feed. It was like speedruns credit feeding, test runs credit feeding. I kept going back trying to do the things properly. Like, okay, I'm credit feeding, but I still want to get through it properly. And some of those jumps were impossible. Like, the enemy jump, another enemy jump, you have to go through between them. Like, the music was good, the graphics were good, and some of the other stuff was very decent, but it was way too jacked to be enjoyable. So that's going to be number 8. That's not... that's not under... And then, like, it's 4 levels. No, it's 6 levels. And then the game repeats for another 6 levels, and then it's done. Like, it's unredeemable bullcrap. Number 7, High Tech World. If it was just the action scenes, I would be fine with it. It would have to be longer. Like, they should have, like, more levels that were shorter. The adventure stuff was dumb beyond dumbness. Like, adventure games with random deaths are always bullcrap, but this one took it to another level. Just stupid all around. Like, pray 100 times. I thought the guide was pulling my leg, but no, you pray 100 times. You watched 2 streams and you didn't see the action stages. There were action stages, they were kind of fun, it controlled fine. Compared to Miracle World, because Miracle World has that problem, it controls horrible. But... yeah, they were very long. So if you got hit once, you went back to the beginning, so... like, no checkpoints. But I wouldn't recommend this. I don't know if I rented this game as a kid. I don't remember walking around doing nothing. But maybe I did. My memory. Anyway. Now we get already the one with the tennis balls. Tennis balls? Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, the shurikens. Yes. The green ninja stars. Yes, the shurikens. Yes. Anyway, from here on out, the next games are gonna be on the good category, which is fantastic for a retrospective like this. Like, usually we go further into crap before we get to the good ones. So only 2 bad games. I call this a win. Yeah, the one with the puzzle house. Yes, the puzzle house. So for number 6, this game was way better than I expected. BMX Trial. I enjoyed it. I could figure it out. There was a perfect route. You could memorize the levels, learn what the correct route was. You can... I did a second playthrough of the game. I beat it in like 10 minutes, I think. Or something. The controls were great, like, with the pedal was probably even better. Oh, I'm surprised. BMX Trial is a fun game. Now, it's very short and it's like gimmicky by nature. Like, okay, it has a pedal, so you're just gonna turn around. And it has some weird stuff here and there, but overall I enjoyed it way more than I expected. Kinda didn't want to put it down here, but the other stuff, it's kind of more fully featured further into crap, yes. We emerged from the crap early on this retrospective. So for number 5, we have the Lost Stars for the Master System. It's okay. It's functional. It's miles better than the arcade one. I enjoyed it. I played it as a kid and never beat it as a kid. But it was fine. It was fine. Did it have continues? I beat it on the first attempt, I think. It had some weirdness here and there, but I think it's a solid entry. It came 2 years after the arcade one. But yeah. Better game than you remember. It was way better than I expected. So I don't have a lot to say about Lost Stars, but I did enjoy it. So for number 4, Enchanted Castle. This game is a very good definition of a mixed bag. It looked horrible, it sounded even worse. Mechanically, it was Miracle World, but better. The game was fair, it was a bit short. The final castle was really enjoyable and it had 2 checkpoints. I call that very civilized. Yeah, that music on the helicopter stage, what was that garbage, man? That thing, it felt like the emulator was broken. In that helicopter stage, man, I almost broke my hand to get through that thing, man. Just mashing like crazy. There is a rhythm to mashing there, but it's still too fast. The helicopter. The black wall, the black blocks that you had to kick back on were fun. The death to the rat coming up from the ground was bullshit. But it was a very fun game. Like, you know, I feel like if they put anyone else other than just the interns to work on it, it would have been a better game. Continue was messed up. I didn't mess up Continuous, but it was very easy to, because it sent you back to the start. And then you had to like press start and scroll down and press start again. Otherwise you lost your chance to continue. My face was hilarious when I first reached this stage. I was so surprised by the music. What was that garbage, man? I don't remember the last time I heard such shit music in an actual retail game. Rats Killing Me was enjoyable. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoy that stuff. Okay, number 3. Miracle World DX. Now, I loved it, but it is just a remake. I can't rank it higher than this, because it's just a remake. It was very fun, I have no complaints about it. They managed to fix the controls in incredibly subtle ways that made the game more playable without killing anything from the original. It was the original, it respected it very well, like, kudos to the devs, they did a very good job. I couldn't believe the Rock Paper Scissors, the Jenkin games, still follow the exact same order of the original game. Thank you so much, devs. Like, I already bought the game, I can't buy it again, but man, you guys deserve all the sales you got just for that. Can't believe it. Very good, very solid. Of course, there was a little bit of Bloom Vaseline on the screen, but fine, whatever. It has a lot of secrets that the original doesn't have, with all the items that you can get. Fun stuff, like, really good, no complaints. I think they did a tremendous job. Number 2, Shinobi World. The only reason is number 2 is because number 1, you guys know what's going to be, but Shinobi World was way better than I expected. The final boss was extremely satisfying to just mash through. Just go through and yeah, that's it. It was very, very short. It's a 20-minute playthrough, but it was a fun ride. And according to, who was it? The Bloom didn't bother. The Bloom was too heavy-handed on the first stage. It got more normal later. But someone was mentioning, let me roll up. No, I don't have the... Because I lost chat when I lost my connection. Anyway, someone mentioned that they tried playing the game while I was streaming it. And they complimented me saying that it was a lot harder than it looked. I don't know, the game flowed normally for me, except for the jumps being eaten. And I felt vindicated when people told me that it happened to them as well. That's the one problem with the game. Everything else is great. The final boss fight is made of 4 stages. They're all impossible until you figure it out, and then they're easy. And that's like perfect. Like I've said this multiple times, the perfect game is the one that feels impossible but is actually easy. So you feel accomplished. Everyone can feel accomplished. And it was very fun and charming. It's very good looking for a Master System. It looks way better than the Genesis game. And yeah, very good. Yeah, I was looking forward to playing through Shinobi World. And it's freaking amazing. A lot of variety in everything. I'm surprised it was so short. And of course, for number 1, it has to be Miracle World. For a number of reasons. One, it does a lot of interesting stuff for 1986 on a console game. Right? The inventory, the map, even the controls were actually good for 86. Like, they're horrible now, but they were good for back then. I didn't have a problem with controls back then. You have money, you have the shops, it's amazing. The Jenkin battles, like, I used to think, yeah, they suck, they're kind of why they're there. And then I started to write them down and realized that it was fixed. And oh crap, this is amazing. Every time you play, you get a bit more notes. Because if you get it wrong, then everything after the first 2 doesn't count. So on the next playthrough, you can resume from there. So I did a bunch of playthroughs and I got everything right, and that was very satisfying. And figuring out the final puzzle without realizing I could look at the goddamn stone, because you could just look at the stone. I didn't realize that it would tell me the combination. I did it by trial and error. The fact that you can still do it by trial and error is amazing. The fact that getting the stone requires a series of steps in previous levels that I could still figure it out was very good. Because the game gives you enough hints. Like, yeah, there is a letter in this level that you have to find before leaving. And then, you know, there's all the nostalgia factor because I played this as a kid. A lot of Master System consoles came with it preloaded. And it did start the entire series. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. So I do have to put it as my number 1. And yes, this does mark the conclusion of our 4th retrospective that we have done on this channel. Very good stuff, very happy about that. And I'm happy, and I'd like to thank you all for being here for the journey.